New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
And hello again, dear ones. Reverend Robert with you over here.
Rev Z right here.
And Reverend Donna's over here.
Exactly. And this is New Thought Today on the New Thought Media Network. Happens every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. We're so grateful that you are with us as we get started here today. Whether you're watching live or on a replay, please hit the like button, the subscribe button, the share button. Let your friends and family know what we're doing here today. And what we are doing here today is we've got our great guest, Reverend Donna Brain. I've been practicing during the videos and I just mess it up. Baranyay, Reverend Donna Baranyay, or I understand we can call you Reverend Donna B. So
Yes.
That's to make it easy on all of us. I was trying so hard today, folks. But Reverend Donna is coming to us from Southern California. She's a staff minister with the Huntington Beach Center for Spiritual Living, has been a longtime hospice chaplain, and as we learned in the pre-show, has been a part of the New Thought movement since the age of 17. So we're not going to say exactly how many years that is because it's not our job to out your age or anything like that. So Reverend Donna, welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit more about yourself. What do people need to know to get to know you a little?
I am so grateful to be here today, and it's just an amazing world that we live in right now, and loving the work I've been called to do all these years through hospice chaplaincy and ministry, and just being a light in the world and getting to be part of that with everyone I interact with, wherever that may be. Life continues to unfold and in just amazing ways, and enjoy writing. I love to do a lot of reading, those kinds of things. But I've really been focusing on my ministry at Huntington Beach and doing some guest speaking at some other centers around. So it's been a joy this time.
Yeah, beautiful. And in the pregame, as it were, the pre-show, you were telling us how you walked into the Huntington Beach Church at the age of 17. Yeah. And now here you are, a staff minister in that same community. And we know you've been, you've stepped out of the community a little bit and dabbled outside, but it sounds like you have been a hardcore member, a stalwart, a piece of the infrastructure, if you will, at Huntington Beach for quite a while now. What's it been like to be in this movement over that amount of time?
It has been a lot of growth. When I started in the 80s, it was a different environment. It was a different world. I was a teenager, as you shared. I was 17. And just to see how we've evolved over the decades and grown as a tradition and grown as a faith community, and the teachings that we share with the world and the oneness that we feel. In my time, I've been a part of Huntington Beach, Seal Beach, many other New Thought churches. And at the same time, there's been that stream of love through all of it. And a sense of belonging, of having there's a place for everyone at the table. At the center. And I think that is the gift that we teach in New Thought, is there's a place for everyone. And to remember that oneness of who we are just expresses in many different ways through all of us. And it's been that foundation for me all through my life, was the teachings that we have, that the opportunity to grow and to learn and to change my mind and to take a principle that we might be working with and see how it shows up in my world differently. Because I don't know if many of you remember when I started in the 80s, it was parking places, palaces, it was all those things. And we've shifted and grown to more of a deeper humanity-based teaching of love, of grace, of compassion, of service. And that is probably one of the biggest gifts that New Thought has taught me all these years, is to show up and be who you are now as you're continuing to grow and evolve. Remember Alliance's song, I love myself and still I want to grow and want to change. And that's really how it's been at Huntington Beach and all the centers I've served over the years. This month would have been my 20th year as a practitioner. And I licensed at Huntington Beach, and now I'm a staff minister there. It's like coming full circle and coming home. It's just a gift. And our senior minister, Reverend Patty, is just amazing to work with as our staff minister. And it's just a joy. I could talk forever on Huntington Beach and how wonderful it's been. We're on Facebook, so check us out on a service.
You know, and
Share that.
right. And the one thing that I think is so intriguing is to hear you talk about the evolution of the idea, if you will, the evolution of how we take this ideology, this philosophy, and put it into practice.
Yes.
And that we move from the more material realm and step more into a service realm or more deeper, insightful way of living realm, which does not exclude parking places and princes and palaces, but it allows people to begin to see the organization more holistically, the New Thought movement more holistically, and not recoil from it because they think it's only about material things.
Exactly. And that is one of the biggest gifts that this teaching provides, and our teachings is there's a deeper meaning in life. There's a deeper meaning in connecting with one another, whether it's our fur babies, whether it's our loved ones, the strangers that we're meeting who are really friends we haven't got to know yet, to nature, to feel the oneness of the divine and all of that, and to tap into that within ourselves. That's the biggest shift, is to feel and sense that divinity. I'm in the Animal Chaplain program at Emerson as well, and to find that connection with the fur babies that we have, our animal companions, and see the spiritual truth of them as it interacts with our entire world, and how we interact one another is a present day aha moment that we can have in any moment. And to recognize the love that we are not, and yes, it shows up in the material things. And yes, I believe in all, remember, we're whole and holistic, but to really feel that divine that's within us and connecting us. If we're having a difficult day or we're having a joyful day, to be able to acknowledge both and know it's both are God. God's in the midst of everything, always.
Yes. Amen. That's something I see in New Thought, is we know that intellectually, but sometimes forget in those moments of our deepest secrets, and sometimes forget in those moments of crisis, and sometimes forget in the midst of the darkness that, wait a minute, that's not how it works. We're all one. And there has to be that oneness within us in that way. So it looks like we might have lost Rev Z for a minute. I'm sure he'll be back here in any second. There we go. There he's back. So we love how technology works.
Absolutely. It's going with the moment.
Yeah.
Sometimes, that's, and trusting and trusting that it's all unfolding. We don't someone once said, we don't know how it's going to happen. We just know it's going to, and we're grateful and blessed.
Right.
and to just trust that.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest evolution in faith for me, is really through spiritual practice and continuing to utilize these teachings, is to know that it is unfolding in the highest and best good, even though I don't understand it. I just keep going until I get more light on the subject, or light on the situation.
Right. And you just remind me of a situation, and this is not a detour, but somewhat. But, I was talking with a friend yesterday. I mean, a friend that I've known before elementary school. I've known this person since about 4 years old, and we're still friends today. I'm not going to tell you how long that's been. But anyway, I hadn't spoke with him for a while, and they called and we were talking, and he was sharing some experiences about some things he was trying to work through and so forth. And, I hadn't talked to this person 4 or 5 months, and I go to my mailbox. I'm out walking. I go to my mailbox. I open my mailbox, and the conversation and an organization that they mentioned while we were walking just happened to be the top piece of mail in my mailbox.
There you go.
And so I say, okay, so this sign has been sound, sealed, and delivered. No pun intended. You need to at least move in that direction, and let's see what happens.
And that's not just the algorithm eavesdropping on us.
No,
that's a real sign. That's a real one of those cosmic. Pay attention, boy. Here we go.
Yes,
this is what you need to know.
Exactly. It was a paper piece of mail in my mailbox, not my email box.
That really wanted to make sure you got it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, I love this conversation already. Yeah.
And we have to notice and pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. Well, and that's that other point, right? Is being able to listen and tune in to what wants to happen rather than what we think we've been told ought to happen.
Exactly. That's where the faith comes in, and the trust of,
Right.
Because you never really know where it's headed until you're there, but by trusting and listening, and the doors will open, the way will be made known. What's that saying? A journey of 10,000 steps starts with the first step, something like that. You have to take the first step and trust that it's working. Ernest Holmes said, treat and move your feet. We do the prayer work, we do the visioning, and then we do the action steps in line with how we feel guided. We have to answer the call.
Yeah.
And I think that's another part of New Thought is the accountability. It's the commitment to wanting to do something in life and to have it show up. It's engaging in life. A minister once told me, if the universe offers you something, say yes and trust that you'll be guided on how to do it. If it's in alignment, obviously, with what your goals are, but the universe will give you all the ingredients, but you've got to do the cooking.
Yeah.
To make the cake or whatever it is you want to do. You'll get all the ingredients, but you have to engage as well.
Yeah.
Sugar, flour, and baking powder does not a cake make if they just sit on the shelf and look at you.
Exactly. And it reminds me of another story about the farmer who has this beautiful, pristine farm, and the crops are all just coming in. The harvest is ready, and it's just beautiful and bountiful. And someone says, my goodness, God, just look what God could do with this beautiful. And he goes, yeah, you should see when God had it to himself.
Yeah.
Right? The farmer had to cultivate the land and water and harvest and give its love and its work, and together, look what we have manifested.
Yeah.
Exactly.
One of the things about New Thought is it is such a rich philosophy. However, what I've also noticed is in my 20 plus years around this thing is a lot of people come in the door and they're confused, they're broken, or at least they believe that.
Yes.
I don't know anybody that ever said, my life is perfect, I'm going to go look for a spiritual community.
No.
We
We're
find
looking for something.
we find community when we're searching for something, and often that is a deeper sense of meaning and purpose.
Yes.
And for people walking in the door, some of what we've been sharing here today can often sound a little off-putting. It can be how dare you say everything's all good? How dare you say that I'm responsible for this crap that's going on in my life? And I'm really interested. What's kind of like your go-to? Where do you like to start with people when they're just coming in saying, how do I find purpose? How do I find meaning? How do I make sense of all this crap that's going on in my life?
Carl Jung said, it's not what happened to me, it's who I choose to become. And that is a quote I've never forgotten, because sometimes we don't have any control over the things that have come into our lives. And I think that's one of the misnomers in New Thought is, how did I create this with my thoughts, with whatever? And sometimes it isn't anything we had any control over, but we do have a control in how we respond to it, how we're going to deal with whatever the situation is, whether it's loneliness or a health tradition or financial issues or relationship, whatever brought us to look for another spiritual source or something for support, to be inclusive, to be helped. I just remind everyone to be easier on yourself. There's compassion, there's forgiveness, self-forgiveness. There's a way to focus on what's going on. Try not to do a spiritual bypass and pretend it's not there.
Whoop.
Yep, got a little.
I think we have just a little bit of frozenness there happening,
and frozenness, you know. My favorite Disney film for the spiritual meanings behind it. Perfect. But in the reality is, whether it's our attitude on how we cope with it, whether it's we decide there's something isn't working for us and we want to make a change and do the work to do that, we're invited to do that in our teachings, but we're not invited to be hard on ourselves, put ourselves down, think we did something wrong. All those things that I think sometimes we come into thinking we're not worthy of something, and we are.
Yeah.
We're always worthy. We're divine expressions of spirit. And sometimes in those difficult moments, it's where we learn where our resilience is and our strength and our connection with spirit. You can think of the pearl in nature. You can think about the diamond and how we get a diamond. And all of these things come from difficult moments. And out of it comes something beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, there's a difference between a healing and a cure. If we're talking about a health challenge, it's a healing of maybe a limiting belief, or a healing of a relationship, or it could be the healing of physical body, but it may not. But having that opportunity to find a deeper meaning in life, it is an ongoing process. I call it the Goldilocks experience. You know, it's too hot, it's too cold, it's just right. Sometimes it's trying on things, finding something that fits, and doing more deeper meaning study, or working on ourselves and working through something that maybe someone told us we were, and it's not the truth, and we can let that go.
Yeah.
And we're invited to do that through finding a deeper meaning and purpose in life. And it's something I think we all go through at some point. I've heard two things recently that I wanted to share. One was healing happens in community. And people want to be healed, not wounded further. So find a safe place to heal and redefine who you are.
And I think that's, well, I want to real quick just acknowledge our dear friend Mitch Austin here. Yes, be easy on yourself, right? And I think that's one of the central pieces of what you're just sharing, because in the old days, there was that, and my term is the metaphysical bitch slap.
Yeah.
What's in your consciousness? Why are you manifesting that? And that's a misplaced use of the principle. The bigger point is, as exactly as you're saying, it actually injures people more.
Absolutely. Isolates them. It re-traumatizes. be gentle with yourself. Find ways to give yourself some slack, whether that means taking a look at where you've been hard on yourself and finding another way to express it, or work with a practitioner or minister or someone for prayer work to reveal that wholeness that you are. Yep. Utilize the spiritual principles that we have.
Or I even advise blow off a day.
Yeah.
Call in sick. Even if you work for yourself, call in sick and go to the park and have yourself a little bite of lunch on the grass, or go for a wander in the woods, or whatever it might be. We get back to the point of change our thinking, change our life, change what we're doing in life, and our experience of those things shift for us as well.
And one thing that I try to do now is, that example with the diamond, I try to reframe it. It's not, it's not that it's some difficulty. It's the process. It's what it takes. It's not that though that we're putting something different on the coal to turn the coal into a diamond. No, that is the process of coal becoming a diamond. And yes, it may be a little constricting and it may be a little pressure, but if you want the diamond, that is the process for it to happen. It's not good. It's not bad. It is like I have to plant the seed in the dark, cold soil if I'm going to get tomatoes or apples or peaches or whatever. So there's there's no stigma to that. That is just what it is.
Exactly. And, one of my mentors used to say, if you want carrots, you can't plant peas.
No.
But I'm confused. If I plant coal, do I get diamonds?
If you put the right pressure on it.
You put the right pressure.
I'm going to be out there jumping up and down on my garden every morning now. Come here, kids. Stomp on that piece of coal right there.
But even if you think of the analogy of the butterfly, that caterpillar that becomes the butterfly has to go through all those changes. To me, that's like amazing to realize that a caterpillar can go through all of that and come out this graceful butterfly. We do that too when we're trying to find meaning and purpose. We are changing, maybe nothing, it doesn't have to be extravagant. It could be a simple thought process, or find gratitude, or find an opportunity to express gratitude. But we're going through that chrysalis to become who we want to be and how we want to show up. And I think that's the gift of new thought, that we have permission to do that. Just because you've done something one way doesn't mean you can't course correct or do something. Just simply make another choice. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say thank you, or I'm having a bad day, so I'm going to find one good thing to be grateful for and see a shift in consciousness. It's very, it almost sounds too easy if you think about it, but it's not. It's not easy to, when you're in the midst of upset, to say, oh, I'm really thankful I'm breathing today.
Yes.
I still have a piece I want to add here, but I can see LZ is chomping at the bit as well. He's got something he wants to get in here.
And just the thing is that when we can learn and really lean on the idea that just there is the chrysalis process for everything on the planet. Now, it may not look the exact same, but it's the process is the same of how you start as one thing and you metamorphosize into something else. And if we can just take that away and continue to marvel at the butterfly, but also be reminded that same thing is happening to me.
Yes.
And that I have to be willing to stretch my wings and allow, just like the butterfly, I flap once and then the wind carries me and I don't do anything. I just float for a while, and when I feel that dissipates, I flap again. And we have this cosmic dance of who and what we are and how we begin to show that on the earth. And when that happens, then we're going to have some real magic going on.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm reflecting on the fact that a lot of people think that when we get initials in front of our name, when we get letters in front of our name or behind our name, that means we've been there, done that, and we're complete. And the truth is, no. that just means we're qualified to do it in the limelight of public and out in front of people where everybody can see us and make their own experiences and judgments and out of what it is. But I can, and I'm sure each one of us here could relate story after story of where that pressure has been applied, not by any choice of our own, but it has been applied, and it has been applied in the light of public scrutiny or public in consideration. And it's much as we were saying earlier, it becomes our responsibility on how we respond to that.
Yes.
And what we take of those pressures that creates the diamond, that creates the ministry, that creates the opportunity to serve others and to usher others through those same changes and those same trials and tribulations.
And that's a sacred place to be there to usher someone, to walk with them through that journey. They know their own answers. They have their own presence and experience, but to know they are walking through this with a loving, compassionate being and philosophy, I think is the gift we share with the world. I attribute it to living in a fishbowl, and everyone gets to see how you grow and change and things like that. And it's a humbling place to be, and it's a place of gratitude to be there as well. For me.
Exactly.
You know.
Hey, folks, if you wonder what you've stumbled in here today, this is New Thought Today on the New Thought Media Network. We've got our guest here today, Reverend Donna Baranyay.
Donna B.
Reverend Donna B. I should listen to Spirit the first few times. My humanness mucked that up. So, but we do need to take a quick break. Let some of our sponsors say hello. Let Reverend Donna B. grab a sip of water. We're going to be back with more, though, because after the break, we really want to look into where's this all going. We got a pretty good idea of where it is and what we can do with it. Now we're going to start taking a look at what we can where we're going with this thing called New Thought. So please stay tuned. We'll be back in just a moment with more on New Thought Today.
Hi, everybody. My name is Ricky Byers, and what I want you to know is that on the weekend of July 14th, that's July 14th, 15th, and 16th, I'm going to be blowing up Salt Lake City. This is my debut there. I've never been there before. So Reverend Cindy, look out. We're going to burn it up, baby. God bless. Peace.
You are a gift. That is the absolute truth. You are a gift, a blessing to the world, a way that the infinite love of God shines itself, shares itself, and expresses itself more fully in the world. You are a gift and a blessing. Please take that seriously. Take it as your honor. Take it as your opportunity to be a light that shines for others. Be that bright light of God's love that's the truth of who you are, and enjoy it, because you deserve it.
And we're back with more on the New Thought Media Network. This is New Thought Today, here every Tuesday afternoon. And our special guest today, Reverend Donna B. from the Huntington Beach Center for Spiritual Living. She's also an animal chaplain. And as we learned in the first segment, a life, I'm going to call it lifelong student of New Thought and this philosophy. And, Reverend Don, I happen to know that you're also a member of the affiliated New Thought Network.
Yes.
And also, so you're a CSL licensed minister and then an affiliate, a member of the affiliated New Thought Network. We're real big on Anton around here.
Yes.
And blending that educational piece because you're in the animal chaplaincy program at Emerson Institute as well. So tell us a little bit about your involvement with ANTN and Emerson Institute.
I'm officially a graduate of Emerson Institute. I affiliated my ministerial with CSL, but I graduated from Emerson Institute in 2007. I am part of Anton as a writer. I was very blessed, and I'm grateful that when they wrote their book, the New Thoughts Today text, daily guides, that I was honored to submit some writings, and they did pick a few to put in. So I'm in that book, and I just love writing, participating. I attend their workshops as when I can. I'm going to the virtually to the conference in October because I can't travel in October, but I'm grateful for the opportunity to attend virtually. And I write for their New Thoughts newsletter twice a year and get published quite often. And I'm very grateful for that. And in the animal chaplaincy, I'm learning to get more practice and opportunities to work with our animal companions spiritually, as well as their fur mommies and daddies, or if they don't have fur, their pet mommies and daddies, because I know our pets are lizards and animals of all kinds, fish. But it's just a gift. I got my start in ministry and pastoral care, and I've always loved connecting with people on a heart level, and that includes when their fur babies are having challenges or their animal companions are struggling, and to be there to walk that journey as well. It's just a gift. And Anton and INTA have so many things to offer our world. And Emerson, I love their programs. And just I'm grateful to continue to participate and have the opportunities that are presented and to say yes.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
And that leads us right into the major question of our second segment here, which we do this with everybody, is so what do you see as the vision? Where's New Thought leading us? Where can this philosophy take us as a human race, as animal, right? As the life on planet Earth? How is New Thought taking us forward? What do you see as that vision out there in the future?
I see the vision of New Thought being more of I don't know if the word subtle is the right word, but it's a way of realizing that there's an interconnectedness in all of life. And even if you have other possible faith beliefs that are outside of New Thought, that they synchronistically can work together. It's not an either or. And I think there's that opportunity for us to take our teachings of New Thought and model it in the world. Show up as that compassionate person, or the person willing to be with you as you're growing and learning and discovering something new. I think that was the biggest gift I was given way back when I found Science of Mind. Was my very first practitioner just listened to me. She emulated what we taught, and it was her encouragement that kept me going on the path when I didn't know what way was up. I was so young and finding my way, but she just held the vision and held the space for me to find it out for myself. And I think that's where the vision and the future of New Thought can be, is to be out there and be a little more visible where we can, but it's through our actions. I know we teach a lot about inclusivity and diversity and have action steps with that. and see the similarities. I recently went on a family trip. I'll use this as an example. I just recently went on a family trip out of the country, and I set the intention when I went to see the similarities and not the differences. And I saw so many similarities with the people I met in different countries and through conversations and just interacting. And I saw the oneness and the help and the support. I didn't know most of the languages, and yet everybody was smiling and happy to help and figure out what we needed. And it was just a truly divine moment. Yeah. And if we can see that similarities and what we're working for, Ernest Holmes said, what are we for? I stand for what I'm for, not what I'm against. Focus on what I'm for and what it is that the similarities, and make that heart connection there. Make that heart connection there, and people will be attracted to that. Our teachings will show up in ways that we don't expect. I've been a hospice chaplain for 15 years, and I can tell you the number of hospice patients I've had with my faith philosophy is in one hand, but I made heart connections with people of all faith traditions over the last 15 years, just because I showed up with love and to hear what they had to say and how they were, where they were at, and built a bridge of connectivity. That's where I see us going in the future, is building that bridge of connection and what we're for in a positive light.
Yeah. And I think, what we have to do, we have to begin to make this stuff integral into our lives. It's not just a conversation, not just talking about some rituals or talking about, are you doing your practices? Yeah. All that's fine. Yeah. And it's all needed, but this thing has to be integral in our lives. So if I don't need to ask you or be reminded about, are you praying or meditating? Because if it's integral, I know that's because that's what it is. That's just how it works.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
I often find it, I every so often will get something that says, LZ will be back with us again here in a minute or two, folks. I've been called out before because someone has said, oh, well, you started a meeting without praying. Or you did this thing and we didn't do a pray in, or you did this thing and and it's like, well, yeah, okay, but I'm in prayer all day long. Mm-hmm. Holmes reminded us to pray unceasingly.
Yes.
So it shouldn't be something special that has to be done in order to set the tone. Mm-hmm. And depending on so it's something you feel into, depending on the meeting. Some meetings like, okay, hey, folks, we're going to stop right here and we're going to pray.
Right.
Some of us in the room are forgetting what we stand on. Or I'm just having a hard time with you people today, so I'm going to pray to have an easier time with all you people before. But it shouldn't be mandatory. No. Like we get, I think, trapped into that, okay, now's the time I'm going to pray, and everything after this is holy.
Yeah. And it becomes a new thought privilege being this. To act so holier than thou, that you forgot this and I didn't. I mean, it's like, really?
Yeah.
Are we going to go there with this? And it's like, that's not how life works.
No, bring the humanity into it. Right. We're not either or, we're both. We're human and divine. We have humanity within us and out in the world. And how do we show up with compassion and instead of judgment? How do you? I liked your example, Reverend Z. Now I'm going to say your name wrong.
Riz. No, that's good. Reverend Z is good.
And I practice too. But again, and it's the laughter. It's those heart connections, but it's the same thing of, making. It's just be that loving presence and know that we all are going to have the challenges that we have. That's part of the human experience.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I've heard it said two ways. We're spiritual beings having a human experience, and we're spiritual beings having a spiritual experience, and it's all the same thing.
Yeah.
Ernest Holmes said there's no separation between us and God. We're divine expressions, and to see that in one another.
I was listening to a lecture the other day that was talking about this integral approach to life, of how we integrate all this, and that, if there was such a thing as an ultimate, the ultimate is to transcend, right? And they were talking in this lecture and saying that if you didn't have any challenges, there's nothing to transcend. So the transcendent moment comes from being able to look at and experience everything in the spectrum,
Right.
and then be able to transcend that. And if you start cutting off the spectrum, or only trying to experience certain parts of the spectrum, your transcendent moments is going to take a very long time, or not at all, because that spectrum is needed to transcend.
Exactly. And we can have a smorgasbord before us, a spiritual feast before us, but we can still be hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we choose not to engage, or whether it's people wanting to be in our life, our community, and instead of trying to do it alone, our teachings are inclusive of everyone has a place at the table.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you're walking through in your life, please don't come to church if you're not feeling well. Come to, call for prayer, ask a practitioner, call a friend, someone to talk to feel connected.
Right.
Instead of feeling, how did I manifest this, or what's going on? All those other things we tend to think about. But I think where New Thought is going is better and better places. It's just amazing to be a part of this movement, and to see the lives that it changes one person at a time from the inside out. One of my friends often says, don't, how does she word it? Try not to compare your insides to someone else's outsides. So don't think this because this person looks like they have it all and you're all got all these things going on inside. That's not, trust that the divine is there. And I thought that was a very freeing comment when she said that. It was an opportunity to cut ourselves some slack in how we're doing with, again, giving ourselves a break, or however I said it earlier. But humanity, we're evolving as a denomination, and Ernest Holmes said, change your life, change your thinking, change your life. And it's in those quiet moments that we can change a thought. When we catch ourselves having a thought we wish we weren't having, and to make a decision to make a different choice.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm reflecting on how this happens at the organizational level, and how sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make, let's say, any one organization wrong.
No.
Because every part of the puzzle is necessary for us to see the big picture.
Yes.
Every part of, and I've said it on this program before, and I'll probably say it again. I became a New Thought snob. That there were times where I was like, I don't need to read that book. They're just saying the same thing as everybody else. I don't need to take that class. They're just saying the same thing as everybody else. I don't need to consider what other organizations are doing because, well, I went to Holmes Institute. I went to CSL. We do it right. And all those things that led to really, in many ways, a different form of spiritual bypass.
Yeah.
Not the type that says, oh, it's all good and you don't have to do your own work and you can just sit there and somebody's going to drop a gold brick in your hand. But the type of work that says, wow, even when I thought I knew what I'm doing and what it's all about, there's more. There's another avenue. Somebody's going to say it a little bit differently. And I've heard it said this way as well, that what you are growing through will become the greatest inspiration for somebody that you don't even know yet.
Exactly. And
And
you may never know, but through other ways, they will be touched.
right,
And
exactly.
and for us to get the audacity to think that we know it all,
Oh,
or that we know best for everybody, I mean, that in itself says, okay, next.
yeah.
Um, because we know that's not the case. We are not the Almighty. We have access to the Almighty, but be very, very clear, we are not the Almighty. And so that's why we talk about this cosmic dance, this divine devotion, this relationship where we allow ourselves to be conduits to uh, project or transfer or showcase a particular aspect of the divine,
Yeah.
a particular song, particular frequency, and we have to begin to realize that one, and then when we can begin to get out of the way and allow that to happen, all this other stuff will go away because it'll just be a clear signal broadcasting. Whoever tunes in gets it. Whoever don't tunes in, well, maybe they get it on channel 7 or channel 11, but this is channel 6 right here. We broadcasting on channel 6 and it's loud and clear. If you want it, we got it.
Exactly. And that's why Emerson said, get your bloated nothingness out of the way to allow the divine circuits to flow.
Yeah.
Allow that higher idea to come through.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
I do have to
progress.
I do have to remind Elzia, though, that we're not sending people to channel 6 anymore.
Oh, wow.
New Thought Media Network, baby.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's where you get the truth.
Yeah.
We like to have some fun with each other.
Yes.
And that's part of it too, right? It's I've talked about this before too. If we use humor to attack another group, community, whatever it may be, and I grew up on the East Coast with a Polish last name, so I like nothing more than you telling me a Polak joke, because I could turn it right around and tell it to my Italian friends, right, and change it immediately to it and malign another group of people. But we have to have the well-roundedness of saying, okay, that humor is inappropriate.
Yes.
But a little good jabbing amongst friends, a little playful teasing amongst friends that isn't designed to hurt, but is designed to highlight the piece that says I'm listening.
Yeah. And when we begin to take everything as sacred, that bite will be less because we're not looking at it as a jab or a put down. It is a sacred way of communicating so that we can transcend.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Sounds like we're hitting a theme here, transcendence.
It does. It really does.
So let's put Reverend Donna on the spot now.
Okay.
One more time. To you, how do you empower that transcendence? How do you jumpstart that transcendence when someone comes through the door or in yourself? What are the practices? What are the processes for you to really drive that type of transcendence?
My biggest one is forgiveness, self-forgiveness. If someone comes through my door, it's a listening ear and an open heart to hear what they have to say, not to listen to come back with a response, but to hear what they're saying and what they're not saying, because what's not said is just as important as what is being said.
Mm-hmm.
And if someone comes through my doors, it's to show up as a loving presence, to just hear what they have to say, and what's going on, and then whatever spiritual practices come about through our conversation, if any. Sometimes it's just being present. There's no words. And because like Reverend Z said so beautifully, we don't know what's right for anybody else. Only they know what's right for them.
Right.
But to have somebody show up and be willing to not run for the hills if there's something going on. Mm-hmm. When it's within myself, I utilize the spiritual practices that are my go-to, which are prayer, meditation, and forgiveness, are some of my favorites. because they've have deeper meaning to me, and it's something I've cultivated over the years, or a walk in nature if I can, to reconnect, with the divine there. But truly, it's a gift to just be present in the moment, whatever is going on. Don't worry about what's going to happen in 30 seconds or 5 minutes or whatever may or may not happen, but just feel it right now where we're at. And then be gentle as well.
Man, beautifully said.
Yep.
Thank you. Folks, you're watching New Thought today here on the New Thought Media Network, and we do need to take another quick break and let a couple more of our sponsors say hello, and to say thank you to our organizational sponsors and individual donors. So we're going to take another moment, but don't go away. We'll be back with more on New Thought today, including our final thoughts. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Please help us say thank you to our organizational sponsors and donors, including the Hefferland Foundation, Affiliated New Thought Network, International New Thought Alliance, Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown Atlanta, New Thought Philadelphia, Planned Happiness Institute, Summit Center for Spiritual Living, Center for Spiritual Living on the Lake, Unity Spiritual Center, Kitchener, Om Center for Spiritual Living, Center for Spiritual Living, North Jersey, Unity of Savannah, Center for Spiritual Living, Seattle, and all of our individual donors and sponsors. Thank you for being a part of the New Thought Media Network. Please come be you. Yes. Thank you, dear ones, for being a part of the New Thought Media Network and supporting us financially and in consciousness as we continue to grow this network and share this message out across the planet. And a very special thank you to Reverend Donna B for being with us here today. Thank you, dear one, for being with us. Before we go anywhere, we also want to know, how do people get in touch with you? How do they stay in touch if they want to learn more about you and your ministry?
My email, I think, has been streaming through. It's revdonnab@gmail.com. I do have a website, but it's under construction right now. It's oursacredjourneys.net. I also have a blog that I post to. That I'll post the newest articles usually on my Facebook, which is the same, Donna Baranyay. I have, if you email me, I can give you my phone number. I don't want to give that out. But if you email me, I will definitely share my phone number for text or for calls. And through the Huntington Beach Center for Spiritual Living, you can reach me there as well. I'm on their website. You can see me there. Those are some of the main ways.
So basically, you can't hide. They got you now.
They got me.
And now that we know about you here, you'll be getting calls from all kinds of show hosts saying, "Hey, come on my show too."
I am so grateful to the point of near tears, because this has been an amazing experience, and you both have the most amazing, inspiring show that is touching lives every day. And I think that's the biggest way we can work in our New Thought tradition is touch lives one at a time. Yeah. And we have so many avenues, whether it's through the work you're doing, through the work other Science of Mind chapters are doing, and there's something for everybody. Yeah. But you have to reach out and do that and answer the call.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Well, folks, it sounds like Reverend Donna jumped right into our final thoughts there before we had a chance to share, to recognize what we were doing, but that's okay.
Sorry.
Because that's exactly what this program is all about. Allowing ourselves to be inspired, going with the flow, and speaking that truth. Speaking the truth in a way and in a medium, in a format that can be heard. So I'm going to put Z on the spot and let him go last today, which means I get to go next, and he'll wrap it all up for us. But my final thought when I listen to it all is that, and we hear this again and again, it's about listening. And if we truly want to transform our lives, we have to listen. We have to listen to the call of spirit. We have to listen to our own wisdom and what we know as to be truth of ourselves. And we have to listen to those that love and care for us and that know us the best. So I'm personally just grateful that I got to be here and to listen to some of your sharing and your wisdom today, because you bring it forward in a way that's unique and totally you. And that's a big part of what we are, a place for you to come be you. Yeah. So again, thank you for being with us. Let's give Rev Z a moment before we run out of time here.
Yeah, well, thank you for being here. I mean, it's always an amazing experience when the hearts and minds get together and to see how it all flows. And it just brings to me to the final point of something we talked about a few times is lean on the transcendence moment, really that transcendent moment, because what it does, it includes everything that has happened and allows us to transcend it and see it at a different point. So let's really begin to lean on that transcendence and understand it and activate it in our lives so that we can transcend and include everything at a different light.
Beautiful. Looks like Abby really enjoyed the conversation too. So thank you, Abby, for the shout out. Appreciate that. Folks, we are going to get out of here for now. However, we'll be back again next week with Harold Becker, the CEO and founder of the Love Foundation. Encourage you to come check that out. And please be sure to check out our past programs on our YouTube channel, on the archives. You can find all of our prior conversations here on the New Thought Today program or all of our programs. So again, Reverend Donna, thank you for being with us. We love you, and we hope you'll come back again sometime. I see a nod. That's a for sure. Until next time, folks, wish you peace and richest blessings. Bye now.
Peace.